So when you hear the phrase ancient university, your mind probably jumps straight to, the ivy-covered walls of Europe, right? You picture scholars in heavy robes wandering around England or Italy. But what if I told you the true blueprint for higher education? The absolute first institution in the world to continuously grant degrees wasn't actually born in Europe at all. To find the real origin story of the modern university, we have to travel back to 9th century Morocco, right into the heart of the bustling Medina of Fez. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the incredible history of Al-Qarawiyyin and the story of how the world's first university was actually founded.
Look, our Western-centric expectations usually tell us that higher education started in Europe. We've got Oxford, founded in 1096, and the University of Bologna in 1088. But trace history back, past Al-Azhar in Egypt in 970, all the way to 859 AD. That is when Al-Qarawiyyin first opened its doors. We're talking centuries before those famous European academies even existed. And the crazy part, it's been operating every single day since then. That is a continuous flame of knowledge lasting well over 12 centuries.
To understand exactly how this 9th century Moroccan institution set the global standard, we're going to look at 4 things today: the founding vision, the architectural masterpiece it became, its unique tree of knowledge, and finally, the secrets of its ancient library.
Starting off with Part 1, the founding vision, where the seed is planted.
The history of founding the world's first university actually isn't about kings or empires issuing royal decrees. Not at all. It's really a story of historical educational leadership driven by just one woman, Fatima al-Furi. She migrated with her wealthy merchant father from modern-day Tunisia all the way to Fez. Now, when she inherited a vast fortune, she made an immense personal sacrifice. Instead of just living out a life of absolute luxury, which she totally could have done, she donated everything to build a center for learning and community. She actively oversaw the construction herself, and get this, she vowed to fast every single day for 18 continuous years until the building was completely finished. The history of Fatima al-Furi and her dedication literally set the stage for everything that followed.
Moving to Part 2, the architectural masterpiece. The roots take hold.
As the reputation of Fatima Center grew, it started drawing scholars from across the entire region. So its physical footprint had to expand dramatically to keep up with its influence. By the 12th century, under the ruling Almoravid dynasty, the complex was expanded so massively that the central mosque could accommodate an astonishing 20,000 worshippers at once. To put that into perspective, in the context of the Middle Ages, 20,000 is an absolute megastructure. It was no longer just a local school. It had become the beating heart of North Africa.
And the engineering was nothing short of miraculous. The complex eventually covered an unbelievable footprint of 3 hectares. That's about 7 acres, smack in the middle of a dense, car-free urban maze. To hold up that expansive roof, architects installed 270 intricately adorned columns. And suspended right in the center of it all, a massive bronze chandelier weighing 800 kilograms, carrying 509 individual lamps. I mean, just imagine the light pouring from that centerpiece during a late-night study session 1,000 years ago.
But it wasn't just huge, it was exceptionally beautiful. Take a look at the stunning marble fountain in the courtyard of Al-Qarawiyyin and compare it to the famous Court of the Lions in the Alhambra Palace over in Granada, Spain. This nearly identical Andalusian architectural style perfectly illustrates the fluid exchange of art, culture, and design flowing across the Mediterranean at the time. Al-Qarawiyyin wasn't operating in isolation. It was a cultural mirror reflecting the absolute peak of Islamic Golden Age aesthetics.
Let's look at Part 3, the tree of knowledge and the branches of science.
So, what was the real secret to the ancient flourishing of sciences here? How did a spiritual center organically blossom into a global, multidisciplinary academic powerhouse? Well, it wasn't a rigid, boxed-in curriculum like we have today. The evolution of sciences at Al-Qarawiyyin operated much more like a living ecosystem. Think about like a tree. The memorization of the Quran and religious studies grounded the students. Those were the roots. From there grew the trunk, language, grammar, and Sufism. Basically, the philosophical and mystical tools you need to comprehend complex thought. Once you had that incredibly strong foundation, the curriculum branched outwards into the secular sciences, medicine, astronomy, law, and even music. They didn't view science and spirituality as enemies at all. They saw them as branches of the exact same tree. And that holistic approach is the true story of the flourishing of sciences at Al-Qarawiyyin.
Which brings us to Part 4, Secrets of the Ancient Library, the Protected Harvest.
Okay, so if you're producing all this incredible multidisciplinary research, you obviously have to store it somewhere, right? We're now transitioning from the bustling, sunlit university courtyards above down into a highly protected, almost secretive underground vault. Put yourself in the shoes of a 16th century librarian for a second. You are holding the physical culmination of centuries of human thought. Irreplaceable manuscripts. There's no cloud backup. There is no digital copy. So how do you actually protect the world's most precious knowledge from theft, fire, or sabotage?
The answer? You build a system of pure mechanical paranoia. To protect the library, they installed a fortified 16th century door utilizing a highly complex system of 4 separate mechanical locks. But here's the kicker, and this is brilliant. They didn't give all the keys to one person. The system strictly required 4 distinct key holders, 4 different trusted individuals, to be physically present simultaneously to open the door. If even one person was missing or slept in, the door stayed shut, and the knowledge stayed locked away securely.
So what was so incredibly valuable that it needed 4 guardians to unlock it? Well, heavily expanded in the 14th century, this library housed an astonishing 24,000 manuscripts. We are talking about a rare 9th century Quran written in ancient Kufic calligraphy, a 12th century manuscript containing the medical poetry of Ibn Tufel, an original 14th century copy of the Muqaddimah by Ibn Khaldun, who is widely considered the founder of modern sociology, and the Al-Muwatta, the earliest collection of Islamic legal theory. It is a staggering collection that beautifully bridges theology, sociology, and the medical sciences.
But thankfully, this eternal scientific legacy isn't just locked away in the past, left to crumble. While historical libraries in other regions were tragically lost to conflict or decay, Morocco took major steps to ensure this wisdom actually survives. Between 2012 and 2016, a massive restoration project took place. Today, there's a state-of-the-art chemical laboratory right there that actively treats and preserves these ancient texts, carefully reversing the decay of time. They're literally using cutting-edge modern science to protect the very manuscripts that helped birth modern science.
And this immortal scientific legacy, the whole shebang, all traces back to one single person. The famous sociologist Ibn Khaldun, who actually studied there, reflected on Fatima al-Fihri's determination. He noted that her intense personal resolve essentially awakened the resolve of the kings who came after her. Her individual dedication to education was so undeniably powerful that it forced entire dynasties to step up, expand her vision, and maintain this beacon of learning for over a millennium.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought. What can modern education actually learn from a 1,200-year-old legacy? In an age of digital overload and increasingly fractured, hyper-specialized learning, maybe we really need to look back at Fatima's organic blueprint, a system built on selfless sacrifice, where science and spirituality nourished each other, like the roots and branches of a tree. It's a pretty powerful reminder that the true purpose of a university isn't just to grant degrees, but to cultivate a complete, deeply rooted human being. Think about that the next time you step into a classroom. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.